I'd like to call the city for the city, meeting for the city of San Juan at 6 p.m. May we rise for invocation. Mr. Arjona, can you lead us in the invocation, sir?
Bow our heads. Dear Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this day. Everything that we do begin with your inspiration and continue with your help. We ask for your guidance throughout this meeting, that all of our thoughts and actions will reflect on your holy will. As always, we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Raise the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Diana, under public comments? Okay, go ahead. Mr. Patrick Willingham? Go ahead.
Good evening, community, staff. Kiddos here that I don't think they're kiddos anymore. They went over represent the city very well. Thank you for that. Congratulate you for that, and I applaud you for that. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Patrick Willingham, Director of Parks and Rec. Tonight, we're here to honor several of our young athletes from the city. This spring and summer, we had outstanding numbers and outstanding representation for the city of San Juan, both on the boys and girls side. Approximately 700 athletes participated in our softball program. We had approximately 275 compete in track and field and tennis this summer. And we were well represented, not only here in the Valley and in the region, but throughout the state and even out of state. Some teams that represented us outside the state of Texas. So all in all, it was a great summer. A lot of accomplishments, I'm sure a lot of memories made by these kids, their families, and a lot to look back on that they'll have throughout their years. So tonight we want to recognize several teams that are here with us today. First of all, I'd like to recognize our 10U Boys All-Star team. So if our 10U Boys could come this way. As I call your name, boys, you can come up and then make your round this way, okay? Number 3, Matthew Garza. Oh, okay. Gabriel Gomez. Daniel Gonzalez Hinojosa. Damian Martinez. Brandon Sauceda. Jonathan Sauceda. Our coaches, Lucio Gonzalez, Andrew Garza, and Jason Sauceda. Our 10U boys were the regional champions here in San Benito and went on to represent the city of San Juan at the South Zone Regional Tournament in Deer Park, Texas. So again, let's give these boys a big round of applause. Great summer. Congratulations, boys. We can move over just a second. We can get a picture with you guys. Okay, next we have our 9U boys. Our 9U boys represented the city of San Juan at the South Zone Regional Tournament, also in Deer Park, Texas. Today we have Joel Alvarez, Antoine Estrada, Sergio Gaitan, Travis McAlpine, Max Molina, Jordan Munoz, Nathan Peña, Gael Zambrano. Coaches are Mr. Orlando Peña, Martin Gamboa, and Travis McAlpine. These boys also did a great job representing the city of San Juan throughout the summer and in the South Zone Regional this year in Deer Park. So congratulations, boys. Great job. Last but not least, we have our San Juan softball 10U Mustang All-Star team. The girls finished third place at the South Zone Pony Regional Qualifier here in Wesco. July 16th through the 20th, they went on to represent the city at the Pony Softball, the South Zone World Series held in Youngsville at the Youngsville Sports Complex in Youngsville, Louisiana. Out of 19 teams, they managed to finish second in their bracket and finish fourth overall. They had a great summer. They really played hard, got knocked into the losers bracket and had to find the long way back to the championship bracket and ended up placing fourth overall. So a great job by the girls. Today we have with us Chloe Cáceres, Camila Figueroa, Juliana Guajardo, Nikki Jo Hernandez, Catherine Herrera, Lori Luna, Avery Luna, Katie Martinez, Desiree Reina, Nia Sanders, Amari Vega. Coaches Ramiro Herrera, Sam Nieto, Eric Martinez, and Alonso Luna. Again, great job, girls. athletes, but just give you a little bit overall on how our athletes fared this year at the Games of Texas. In track and field, San Juan brought home 4 gold medals, 9 silver medals, and 1 bronze. 3 fourth place finishes and 1 fifth place. We also had an additional 20 kids that finished in the top 10 overall. So that was statewide. In tennis, we brought home 1 gold medal, 4 bronze, and 3 consolation championships. So again, about 85 athletes that participated representing City of San Juan at College Station in the Games of Texas. Today, we have, just a couple could make it today, but we do have some representation. Ramsey Moreno, 2 silver medals at the Games of Texas. And that was in track and field. And in tennis, consolation champion, Jacqueline Laredo. Congratulations, and thank you for representing us.
To that, I also want to thank the kids, all the boys and girls for literally putting San Juan on the map, on our sports map. I know we are running real good programs here. I also want to thank the coaches as well, all the volunteer coaches. Thank you for your time. You know, this means a lot to our city, and this means a lot to our kids as well. Um, just to give you guys a heads up that we are looking forward in building our program a lot stronger. We're planning to work on doing interlocals and getting, our sports facilities up to par. So hopefully by next year or coming the new budget season, we're really going to work hard, myself and the rest of the commission, and to getting this accomplishment for our youth. Once again, I thank everyone for being part of this. God bless you guys, and God bless your families. Thank you. Anyone else? You okay? Thank you.
Here, the next item on the agenda is presentation on departmental reports. Tonight, we have the Department of Planning and Zoning, Department of Parks and Recreation, San Juan Memorial Library, and the Department of Sanitation. Every director is here ready, available. Should you have any questions?
Chief, Fire Chief Garza, good job on yesterday's house fire you had. You had a house fire, including the truck or whatever was in there?
Yes, sir. 400 block piece 12. Thank you.
Yeah,
Everything, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, the thing is, I'm saying, because my son is participating on this one.
Yes.
First house fire he
Yes.
had here as a volunteer, but he said that everybody was in task, that you were looking at for all your firemen.
Correct.
Good leadership, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Let my staff know.
Thank you.
If I may, Commissioner, I think the fire department did on a standing job. You know, you can't get it out of your blood. It goes across the street from my house. And Tito, they did a tremendous job. Good
Thank you.
job, guys.
Thank you, Eddie. Any other questions for the directors at this time?
Mr. Roel Garza, how are we doing with the brush? We're on time?
We're on schedule, sir.
On schedule?
We're ready to change it's on Friday.
This coming Friday? Great. Good job. How's the new vehicles coming along?
Working great.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, Mr. Willingham, under the Parks and Rec,
We already started all the registrations for all the fall sports, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
And how's that coming along? Is it
Uh,
kind of slow right
August
now?
is kind
or
of slow till about the first week of school, and then
Okay.
it'll start picking
It'll
up.
start picking up?
Yes.
Now, as far as, are you guys sending any flyers to the elementaries and stuff like that?
Yes, first, actually, next week, we'll start sending them because they have the camps that start. We've been at all the events that they've had at the schools so far, passing out information. They'll start going out next week, and then it'll go out full-blown on the 26th.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Willingham.
We've got volleyball, flag football, and tackle football. Yes.
Any other questions for the directors? If not, we'll go ahead and move on.
Mayor, if I may,
ahead, sir.
bring Mr. Roel Garza over to the podium so that he can, there's some papers that were passed out in front of you. And he's gonna give you a short overview as to what has been taking place over by Citrus and Doe Street. As you will recall, the city of FAR helped us out tremendously in cleaning those, the debris that was under the street. And there's some pictures there so you guys can see it and see what's in there still. There's a space that we really can't get to it anymore. But we want to show you what we discovered and what they've been doing with the city of FAR. Now it's coming to the point that we need to go back and talk to the company that gave us a proposal at first. Maybe we can bring them back to finish what we started, that we can get to it. But hopefully with that, it's not going to be the cost that they first gave us a quote on. But hopefully with this, it'll be a lot minimal cost to the city, thanks to the help of the city of FAR, and thanks to the guys that have been working hard at that place. So, Mr. Garza, explain to them as far as the debris that is inside those pipes, please.
Yes, sir. I just want to echo Mr. Arjona's statements. I'd like to thank City of FAR Public Works Department for all the work they have done. They did a tremendous job out there in assisting us in the Citrus storm drain project. If you look at your maps, starting from Oblate, going
Before
west.
you go on, now, in reference to what you just said, Mr. Garza, and this was like free at no charge,
Yes, sir.
as far as them bringing their machinery to.
No charge at all
Okay,
to the city
thank
of
you.
San Juan.
I just wanted to put that on the record, okay?
Sister City helping out and getting things like that. And after you look at the pictures, then you start to realize how much this kind of stuff's needed.
Correct. We spent about 3.5 weeks out there.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, if we look at the map, starting on Oblate and going west all the way up to Cougar Avenue, that line's about 90% clear of any debris. But the actual major problem starts on Cougar all the way up to Doe Street and south of Doe. That line, those are those pictures that you see up and the ones I handed out to you all. There's roots in there, there's asphalt, there's all types of debris. After getting with the city of FAR, they tried their best. We did jet that whole area, but they just could not get rid of all the debris that was inside the storm drain pipe. They said that they could do it with root cutters, but they were afraid that their line was going to get stuck inside the pipe and it would be damaging to the truck and the line itself. So we left that it is. And also from Doe, going all the way to Veterans, that line's about 90% clean also. There are some roots and some mud and stuff like that we can't televise the line. Once we do some flushing, we'll probably get our camera out there and give you a better picture of that storm drain line.
And the water flows east,
Yes, sir.
so that
Yes,
the
sir.
biggest problem with any water that flows east.
Correct.
It's gonna be minimal, sorry, water's gonna be minimal to go out because there's that big clog, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Do we
s-
have an estimate more or less when we have that?
They charge per linear foot. Like Mr. Arona said, it's a shorter distance, so it won't be as much as the initial cost.
The pipe is not damaged, or is it damaged?
We will find out once we televise the line.
Okay.
There's no assessment yet, that's why.
Correct.
All these is roots, so it's gotta be some type of breakage, correct?
Yes. Either roots penetrated the line or they grew within the actual sludge and mud that was in there.
So if a storm comes tomorrow or the next week, I know we're not a hurricane season, I just read the report in September, a couple years back, we've had some storms in the past. The flow of water would be better now that we have 90%?
Keeping our fingers crossed, the flow will be better, yes, sir.
Better, of course, is not 100% yet. Until
Correct.
that's correct? Okay.
But yes.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Garza, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, Mayor, Commissioners, we have the 4th of July Festival Expense Report. Mr. Patrick?
Mayor, Commission, before you have the expense and revenue report that we had this year at the 4th of July Festival. Included was on the revenues with both monetary and material sponsors as well that donated food, water, drinks, whatever to the city. Do we have any questions?
Sponsors, Mayor, if I may, the food sponsors, Mr. Willingham, delivered the food,
Correct.
not monetary donation, and you all purchased it.
My understanding is they purchased the food for the department to cook and then distribute as. Yes.
A negative 2,676?
That was our total expense, yes.
That's usually what the average we, pretty much.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. Yes, right. That's about right. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Willingham in regards to this issue? If not, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Next item, there's a presentation by Utility Service Partners Incorporated on the National League of Cities Service Line Program. So
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I don't want to steal a lot of the thunder of the Utility Service Manager who's here to give the presentation, so I'm going to introduce Ms. Emily Salfini, there you go. And she's going to talk about the warranty program that the National League of Cities has actually recommended, or I'm going to say sponsored, that is provided through Utility Service Partners. And I'll just let Ms. Emily explain a little bit more on the program.
First, I want to thank you all for having me. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time tonight. Again, my name is Emily Zalfini. I represent a program called the National League of Cities Service Line Warranty Program. I want to apologize ahead of time if my voice goes out. I'm getting over a head cold. This program, of course, is the only service line warranty program actually endorsed by the NLC. Quick background on the company that I work for. I work for Utility Service Partners. I don't work directly for the NLC. We've been in this business for about 16 years now. We've been working with the NLC since 2010. And actually both in 2013 as well as last year in 2018, we won the Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. Obviously something we're really proud of, so we always try to work as hard as we can to maintain high ethical standards. But what the program's designed to do is to try to help address some of the public policy issues related to aging underground utility infrastructure, which is obviously starting to plague a lot of communities across the country. So we know that for the most part, communities like yours are always doing everything you can to upgrade and maintain all sorts of public infrastructure. But on the homeowner side, there's just not much you can do. So that's really the reason why the NLC started looking at this sort of program, because they wanted to make sure that something like this would be available for every city, every town, just everyone across the country. So they went ahead, they did their research to hopefully make it a little easier on you, and we were the company they chose to work with. Now, what we actually do is we would partner with the city. That allows us to make the voluntary program available for your homeowners. Then our goal is to try and help educate your homeowners just on the fact that they are actually responsible for their water and sewer lines on their property. And then at the same time, we do offer the option of getting protection on those lines if they want it. So it's really just for the portion where the utility is not responsible, and unfortunately, most homeowners insurance policies just don't cover. So we try to bridge the gap to give people an option if they want it. It's done with a turnkey approach, meaning we would handle all aspects of the program ourselves, from the marketing, billing, claims, customer service, everything. And there is no cost whatsoever to the city. In fact, we actually offer a small incremental revenue based on participation. So for me personally, one of the things I think is most beneficial is that it does help to raise an awareness. There's usually a similar story in most areas, and if a homeowner does have an issue with their water or sewer line, they call the city, you send somebody out, and a lot of the time you find the issues on their side and you can't really do much to help. We also find, and I'm sure you're all well aware too, that a lot of homeowners don't really know or don't really understand that they're actually responsible for those lines on their property. And I always admit to everyone, even though it's a little embarrassing, that I fell into that category too. Prior to working for this company, I had owned my home for about 10 years, and I did have an idea that I was responsible for those lines, but I didn't know which part. Never would have guessed my responsibility went into the public street. And honestly, I thought my homeowner's insurance just covered that. So I can only imagine if I had found out because I had a major issue, then you have to do some research, obviously find a contractor and pay for everything out of pocket. So I kind of like to think of this program almost like a free public awareness campaign for the city, because what we'd be doing is sending out a letter to each resident, letting them know which portion of their lines they are responsible for, and then letting them know that the city's working with us just to help make an option available for them if they want it. For the people who do enroll, of course, we'd offer them a little peace of mind. Basically, for a few dollars a month, they do transfer the risk of their lines to us. Then if they have any issue, whether it's a broken, cracked, leaky pipe, tree root penetration, clog that needs to be cleared, whatever it might be, they give us a call. We have US-based call centers. They're available 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. And we work with local area contractors for repairs. So that's kind of another key to the program, is we do our best to only use local area contractors. We do it for a few reasons. One, of course, we would like to keep the money within the local community as best we can, but also we expect that local contractors should be well aware of any codes or requirements or anything at all that might be unique in the area. So we just expect them to get the job done up to our standards as well as yours, and that does include any permits or licensing that might be required. When it comes to the selection of our contractors, we do let our municipal partners be as involved or uninvolved in that sort of process as you'd like. In some cases, we've had municipal partners give us recommendations of who might have a great reputation, or let us know who might not have a great reputation, but we don't expect that from you. No matter what, we have our own vetting procedures that we go through, which include making sure that the contractor has the proper amount of insurance, that they are licensed, bonded, they have no open complaints with the BBB. We check to make sure that they have access to the proper equipment. And then also we go as far as running background checks and drug screenings. So we just try to do everything we can from our side to hopefully make sure the homeowner should feel comfortable having the contractor come to, or maybe inside their home, depending on their situation. And then as for those contractors themselves, they are not paying us a fee to join our network, and we don't really tell them what they can charge. They're still able to charge standard rates. So then as far as homeowners would be concerned, they would have 3 completely separate, completely voluntary options for protection. So there's one for the external water line, one for the external sewer line, and the third is for their in-home plumbing. The 2 external options are set up identically. So the external water or sewer line, if a homeowner did decide to enroll, we would cover up to $8,500 of protection per month, or I'm sorry, per incident, not per month. There are no service fees, no deductibles, no annual or lifetime limits, and we do not limit the number of claims that they can file in a calendar year. The third option just picks up where those 2 leave off, and that's the in-home plumbing. For that, we offer up to $3,000 per incident. And again, there are no service fees, no deductibles, no annual or lifetime limits. That would be for any water, sewer, or drain line inside the home after the point of entry. That does include something that might be embedded under a slab or a basement floor, as well as something simple like a clogged toilet. So when this program was put together, they really just wanted to make sure that people, could get their issue taken care of as quickly as possible. So they didn't want to have a $75 or a $50 service fee attached to it. And of course, people do tend to be more proactive when they don't have to spend time finding a contractor, maybe getting multiple quotes or paying a ton out of pocket. I should mention it is not a reimbursement program. So what would happen is if a homeowner has an issue, they give us a call into our call center, we find them a contractor. We like to have the contractor in touch with the homeowner to set up an appointment within the hour, and then on site within 24 hours is the goal. Then we pay the contractors directly. So usually no money is exchanging hands. So one of the other features of the program that I mentioned in the beginning is the incremental revenue that we would offer to the city. The way that works is we offer 50 cents per month per paid warranty contract. So if one homeowner enrolled into all three options, the city's eligible for $1.50 per month. We do generally pay that out once a year in the form of a royalty in January. And of course, we don't tell you what to do with it, but most of our partners will take it and put it back towards the community in one way or another, whether it's a fund to help offset the cost of a high water bill if someone has a leak or a break, or to help elderly or low-income families who might be having an issue paying their utility bill month to month, maybe even to cover the cost of the 4th of July festival, something like that. Whatever you choose. You do, though, also have the option of turning down the revenue. If you decided to do that, we basically just pass those savings to homeowners who enroll by lowering the cost of the plans by 50 cents per month. So the big thing that I always anticipate, or big question I always anticipate with this, is how do we market? Because we really only, that's really the meat of the agreement between us and the city. So we really only market by direct mail. There's no door-to-door, no telemarketing. We try not to even bombard people with a ton of mail. We have a maximum of 3 mail campaigns per year. Each campaign consists of 2 mailings, so an initial letter goes out. 2 to 4 weeks later, a second almost identical reminder letter goes out. We try and keep them formatted to be kind of as educational or as informational as we can. Again, they just start off letting the homeowner know that, or which portion of their line, I should say, that they are responsible for, and then letting them know that San Juan is working with us in order to help make an option available for them if they want it. We make it clear that it's optional, not mandatory, and that it is coming from an outside company and not from the city itself. So we direct them to contact us with any questions, concerns, interest, whatever it might be. So what we would really be asking of from the city in this partnership is 2 things. The first thing is for the use of the city logo on marketing material. That is part of what helps us to get a relatively high response rate. It's what makes people a lot more likely to open up the letter and read it than if they would just see our logo by itself, which would probably end up in the trash. And because more people read it, more people enroll, which leads to better pricing. Sorry, I think I'm getting an alert. Which leads to better pricing, better protection, and also a stronger local area contractor network. So because we ask for the use of the logo, the second thing that we would ask of from you would be for your review and approval of the marketing material before each campaign. So we would email that over to you, give you some time to look it over. If you had issues with the messaging, we would work with you on that. Once we receive an approval from the city, we give you an exact mail date, so you know right around the time homeowners get the information in the mail. And then if for any reason you do not give us an approval, and this goes for each campaign, we just don't mail anything. And that has a lot to do with, of course, our partnership with the NLC, but also just the ethical standards of the company. We want to make sure that our municipal partners know that we have your best interests and your residents' best interests at heart, and we think we maintain that by keeping you involved in our messaging so you always know what's going out. We also like to just keep a pretty high level of transparency within the program in general, so if at any point you needed information as far as how many people have enrolled, claims that have been filed, what we've paid out, contractors we work with, customer service satisfaction surveys, whatever it might be, we can always provide that. We're also working on creating partner portals so you can actually have your own login information and look at that online anytime you want to as well. So as of right now, we have just over 650 partners across the US. That includes 41 so far in Texas. And I know that that was a lot of information. I appreciate you all listening to me patiently. Did anyone have any questions or thoughts?
It seems that, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, considering no public funds are being used,
Yes.
everything, of course, everything would be coming to us as far as you mail anything out.
Mhm.
But using our logo, does that absolve us from any kind of legal?
Yes.
Because of it does?
So what would happen is the city would be asked to go into a marketing agreement with us, basically just gives us the ability to use the logo, but it does state within the agreement that the city staff, elected officials, everyone is indemnified and held harmless. So if there were any issues, that comes back to us, not to the city. In-home plumbing and drainage. Yes, we would bill the homeowners directly. We don't ask the city to get involved.
I like the fact that it's very educational.
Mhm.
And a lot of times that's what you need, and you improve all kinds of other infrastructure, the pipes and stuff like that. So the fact that everything's being done through y'all's company, it's another plus. So just,
Yeah, and we actually offer too, I should mention, press releases, web banners, whatever you'd like to kind of help get the word out or to let homeowners know that they'll get something in the mail before they actually get it in the mail. So if you were doing any maintenance or updates on public infrastructure that might affect the homeowners, we'd be happy to work that into a press release for you too.
Any other questions? No? We're good? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item under public hearing ordinances. Hold the public hearing, consider an ordinance in the first reading for a rezoning request from Expressway Corridor District to Single Family Resident District of 15.932 acre tract of land out of Lot 3, Block 35, Alamo Land and Sugar Company subdivision, located approximately a quarter of a mile west of Cesar Chavez Road along the south side of Sergeant Leonel Trevino Road, as requested by Estefanio Rios. This item was tabled at the last meeting, Mayor, that's why we're bringing it back before you. Yes.
At this time, I'll make a motion on table. Is there a second? Second. There's been second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Been on table. Go ahead, sir.
This is a zone change from Express District to Single Family Residential. It's located 1,200 feet west of Cesar Chavez on Sergeant Leonel Trevino Road. This property is basically the east of Fireman's Park, that whole area. It's submitted by Estefania Rios. They did submit the application, paid the fee. We also did send a newspaper advertisement notifying the residents within 200-foot radius. There's also photos and a map as well. You know, at the Planning and Zoning Commission, you know, they denied this request because there is a study that was done, the Expressway Corridor study.
Are you talking about the comprehensive?
No, it's an Expressway Corridor study. It was done in April 2017, and it was done by the San Juan EDC. Yeah. You know, the purpose of that study was, you know, basically to support existing businesses, attract similar businesses as well to that area, and kind of has like a vision for that area, and that's that Expressway Corridor district, which is basically along the expressway. You know, there's a map you can to look at that as well. You know, they're asking to do a single-family residential, which is residential homes. The corridor zone, it doesn't allow that, so that's why they want to do it, yeah, for commercial, yeah. And you know, some of the similar items are retail shops, convenience stores, hardware store, jewelry store. So it's basically, you know, for retail. You know, that study, you know, it does also have design standards as well for the design, the materials used, layout, parking areas, landscaping. So, you know, that study was done, and the city, you know, we're trying to follow that.
the study was done when? How long ago?
2017 it was approved, April 2017. And there's a public hearing, you know, there can be comments. I know Meldon and Hunt is a representative, so I believe he has comments as well.
Let me go ahead and open this up.
Yeah.
Okay, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up at 6:40 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? Can you please state your name for the record, sir?
Good evening, Mayor. Mario Reina with Meldon Hunt,
Thank you,
the
sir.
project engineer. Can we go back one slide, please? I'm here today representing Mr. Tony Warmgen for this proposed rezone. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on the agenda this evening and for allowing me to do a short presentation. Next slide, please. So I think everyone's familiar with where this particular property is situated. If you look at the properties to the north, there is single-family zoning designations, and also to the west, the immediate west. And if you look at this, they basically line up with my property, leaving the same amount of expressway frontage for commercial development. Another thing that I like to note when you look at this in the big picture is that there is a park immediately west of here. So I do think that single-family zoning is a better zoning, being immediately adjacent to a park rather than commercial or industrial. Next, please. So as Mr. Robert just noted here, I read the expressway corridor in detail, and there was kind of 4 bullet points that I took out of it. And the first one was to support existing businesses. And we feel that additional rooftops will only add to the traffic counts, and the increased population will in turn support local businesses. The second is attract new businesses. We feel that additional rooftops and traffic counts will encourage more businesses to come to San Juan. The other is protect areas from detracting businesses. Additional rooftops will by no means necessarily detract businesses from coming to San Juan. And the last one is to prompt this area as an economic destination. You know, when retailers look to come to an area, they look at sales comps, traffic counts, before they enter a market, and adding additional homes will only increase the likelihood of the success of the corridor. Next slide. So when you look at this development, here's kind of an overview of it. We are 600 feet from the expressway. So 600 feet is a substantial distance from the expressway. And I guess the question is, what can you do with 600 feet? 600 feet is still a large amount of land that you can develop. So I had a bunch of examples, but I'm putting two before you here today, and I can put more at the next meeting if you like. Could you go next slide? So here's a new development that I worked on in Edinburgh. I'm not sure if you guys have been there at the walk-ons. So I did this particular development for 3 different developers, so it was interesting, a lot of personalities involved. But we fit a 6,000 square foot restaurant, 25,000 square foot retail shopping center, and 2 hotels, and all that fit within 513 feet. So here you have 600 feet. So you have the ability to still do this on the frontage if the block company chose to sell one day. And immediately north of here, if you're familiar with the area, is a single-family residential development. I worked on that development as well. So they kind of fit hand in hand. 1,600 feet in depth is way too far for any type of development, unless you're a car dealership. Next slide, please. Here's another example. This is immediately across the street. I worked on the Marriott Hotel that's there. And the shopping center here shown is where the Pyology is. And so we fit a 15,000 square foot shopping center, 110 room hotel, and we also have a pad site available, and all this fit in 543 feet. So the 600 feet that you have available on the frontage is still very developable. Next slide, please. And so the benefits of this is 76 lots. The average lot should be about 6,000 square feet, which will equate to 300 new residents, new consumers, and this trade zone, so that's very important. The homes will have restrictions. It will have 1,600 square foot minimum living square footage per house. The average house value will be about $175,000. This will add 12 to 13 million to your ad valorem tax on a yearly basis. This will help support local businesses, help support local schools. Next slide, please. And the reason is that this zoning really just doesn't work. It's kind of like reverse condemning this individual, is because I don't have expressway frontage. Sergeant Trevino is not a commercial road by any means. There's 2 current owners in front of me in order to gain direct access to the expressway. We won't be able to obtain signage along the expressway. And when you drive by there, really what you see is the block company. So it has low visibility in my opinion. Next slide. So I went out to a lot of our clients, and they all agreed to give me letters of support. But what I did is I actually got letters of support from 2 individuals that have a vested interest in San Juan. CAP, Corporate Asset Partners, is actually developing right next to HEB, and Ruby Group is Ricardo Rubiano, and he actually did a large development just south of the expressway in this particular area, and he shared his feelings in that letter that he didn't feel that at this time or any time in the future this would be of any commercial use. Next slide. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
You said the average house about 175?
Yes, sir. We're thinking 175 from the builders that we're discussing with.
Subdivision to the sides, to the north and south, or well, east and west, right next to it, the same value houses, more or less?
I think north of us, they're probably in the 140, 130s. They're a little bit smaller homes than what we're envisioning. And the developer has talked to a number of builders. So we do have 3 or 4 that we'd like to put as preferred builders in this subdivision.
But we don't have a subdivision between Cesar Chavez and Nebraska on the south side, correct? They're all single homes, right?
South side. On the north side.
On the north side. And the one we're talking about is on the south side.
And, the city commission needs to look at, there's plenty other areas that they can do single-family residential. This corridor was meant for economic development, so just.
So my question, I guess, for legal is, where does the spot zoning come into effect in this? I mean,
I would have to look into it, and I would have to look into it.
that'd be a whole different issue there as well. So now, like, for instance, if for some reason, if this commission decides to go ahead and go that route, so pretty much what we're doing is we're opening it up for, we're setting precedents here for anybody else to come in down the corridor, right? And develop, whether it's rooftops or apartments, am I correct?
But in this, it allows for apartments as a conditional use permit.
Okay.
You could do apartments in this expressway corridor. You just can't, it just doesn't have anything for single-family residential.
My concern is just the,
And I would have to look at the surrounding areas.
Developments, you could do apartments and then retail and kind of do a mixed use. That's what this expressway corridor allows, but it doesn't say anything about family residential.
Any interest in that besides commercial?
I've looked at it.
And
but
how
a lot of
long,
the- a lot of
and
the
if so, how long?
The infrastructure's not in place,
Okay.
so there hasn't been, there's interest, but, if the infrastructure's not there, then they have to invest in that, into that area.
Hey, have you been approached, have we been approached by any other investors that, with commercial? Yes?
Since it was a P&Z vote denying it, the only way they could be able to overturn P&Z is it requires, under local government code, it requires a four-fifth vote in order to overturn P&Z. So it's not a simple majority.
yeah,
As long
it's
as-
4 out of 5.
A lot of the commission understands that.
Okay. All righty. Is there anyone else here for or against? Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. As, on this project here, I was involved at that time with the EDC, and the reason we had done it, and it did get passed, we had Mr. Palacios there with us also when this was brought to the table of the commission at that time. But if you look at it now, gentlemen, just alone, like this gentleman said here, we're gonna bring in 76 homes. Just alone in water meters, we're gonna bring in more than $4,000. And you all gotta consider also, right now, the most value we're seeing on that is its farm value. So we don't see any taxes, but this way, we would be seeing the value of, like he just said, $100,000 homes. So as a taxpayer, I think it'd be ideal to go ahead and open it up, instead of just sitting there and not seeing hardly any money. We would bring in rooftops, like he says, water meters, and we're gonna see value in the property. And the great thing, like he explained, we're still gonna have 600 feet. 600 feet is a lot of feet, gentlemen, from the expressway. So, as a taxpayer, I think, we did it for a reason, but it hasn't moved. But if we can start bringing in more, generating more money for our city, as a taxpayer, I'm all for it, Commissioner and Mayor.
Sure. Appreciate it. Anyone else for or against?
I'd like to ask a couple of questions. There were about $175,000 home at 70, how much revenue would the city generate in tax rate? And that's just saying that all residential rooftops at 100% completion. It gives you an idea. What would be the amount? Per year? A year? And that's at 100% occupancy. So, and that's not saying what's the time frame that this rooftops will be. It could be 5, 10, 15 years by the time or 20 years by the time we see $95,000, right? Depending. We don't have a projection of what's going to be the projection of total occupancy once it's developed, is it?
I just want to add, when we look at these zone changes, we want to make sure that we're zone changing it, not because of what's going to come in, but just if it's the best for the city.
Right.
Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, my concern is the spot zoning as well. I mean,
If you actually look at it, it is technically continuous, but this study was created to protect that for.
We haven't gotten
for-
back the comprehensive plan or anything like that.
It was approved, yeah,
It was?
Mhm.
Okay.
but this was submitted before it was adopted.
Anyone else? If not, I'm gonna close this at 6:52 PM. Gentlemen, it's your take. Anyone you wanna?
Go ahead and make a motion to approve.
There's a motion, is there a second? Is there a second? Motion dies. I'll go ahead and make the motion to deny this request. Is there a second? Second. It's been seconded by Coach Neto Guajardo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mayor Commissioner, under appointments, consider removing appointment of board members related to the Parks and Recreation and Advisory Board. Diana?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. The San Juan Parks and Recreation Advisory Board consists of 7 members serving 2-year staggered terms. As per the Parks and Recreation bylaws, if a member is absent 3 or more consecutive times, the individual shall be automatically dropped from membership. At this time, we have 2 members, Rick Martinez and Robert Williamson, whose terms have expired. As part of your packet is a list of current members, attendance sheet, and applications that were submitted.
This time I'll go ahead and make a motion to reappoint Rick Martinez and remove Robert Williamson and appoint Jonathan Gongara. That's in the motion. Is there a second? Been seconded by Mr. Villegas. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item under discussion and possible action, we have a discussion and possible action on accepting and awarding the bid number 501875031150007500 UCPGVG for the 2018 Urban County Street Improvements Project.
Yes, Mayor Commissioners, this is the 2018 Urban County funds. The city has 275,084. The city went out for bids for bid opening July 31st, 2019. These streets are for Shuford, King, Mayfair, Hampton, and Taylor. We did receive 10 bids. They did open them at the Urban County. The lowest bidder was Diamond 8 Industries out of Santa Rosa. Their bid was $278,658. So the city, we did send it to our city engineer. They did recommend that we go with the lowest bidder for this project.
Okay.
And it's for the street improvements.
Escobar at this time?
Yes, south of Bearstone.
I believe one of those streets that was
Andrew.
completed was
Andrew.
Andrew, right?
Andrew.
So it's Mayfair and the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Is there a motion approved? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
The next item under the same discussion and possible action regarding request for qualifications concerning agent of record for the health, dental, life, AD&D, and supplemental insurance, Mr. Jaime.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. On July 3rd and July 10th, staff advertised in the Advanced News Journal RFQ 19-7-7-16 for an agent of record for health, dental, life, AD&D, and supplemental insurance. In response, staff received submissions from the following firms: Newkirk and Newkirk Inc. from McAllen, Ortegon Insurance from Westlaco, Salazar Insurance from Harlingen, and Bob Trevino Insurance from FAR. All of these companies are here in attendance to make a 5-minute brief presentation.
Okay. You want to go ahead and have them step out and then you just call them one by one, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Order that is here.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Newkirk and Mr. Jaime. Newkirk and stay behind.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name's Pierre Newkirk, and I represent Newkirk and Newkirk, Inc. I've been in business over 23 years. I am a registered financial planner. I have been a counselor for 10 years. I have a PNC license, property and casualty. We have a risk manager's license in our office as well. We have 10 employees that do nothing more than benefit specialists, if you want to call them that. We help with enrollments, we help with claims. We don't outsource our folks to other agencies or facilities in order to help each and every one of our current clients. Like I had mentioned prior, we do have over 500 clients locally, small groups and large groups. One of here in San Juan, which is Spirit Truck Lines, we've had them as a client over 15 years. They're about a 500-man group. We have multiple cities. We have a lot of housing authorities, a lot of water districts, very familiar with the municipality laws, different from regular insurance law, depending if we bring in TML as a carrier or through Texas Department of Insurance, which would be most of the insurance carriers. That's in fully insured as well as in self-funded plans. We encourage a lot of our employees, whether they're in the private sector or the public sector. We do run a lot of wellness programs because in reality, that's where the big dollar stops. When employees have bad health or lack of judgment of diabetes, et cetera, we bring in a lot of resource to keep those claims versus the premiums down. That's about all I can tell you, other than we'd love to be your agent in the city of San Juan. Any questions? Yes, sir, we do. We use multiple benefit administrative systems at no cost to you all. It would be absolutely free.
It'd basically be like a portal, like a portal?
They'd be, yes, portals.
Okay.
The enrollments can either be, and we're dual languages, so English or Spanish. We do live presentations, we have phone banks, we have online, so it's multiple. It just all depends up to the city that how they want to handle it. A lot, and I'll give you an example. I used to be the agent for the city of Edinburgh. I was there for almost 4 years. And one of the things is they wanted us to go in once a month instead of on a continuous basis. They didn't want an online portal because they were used to paper. That's just the way they are. And I've got other cities that like the online portal because it really and truly, it bypasses a lot of mistakes that people think that what they bought, in reality, it goes right back and it's very efficient more than anything else.
Y'all do follow-ups, like if an employee goes to the doctor and so forth, and they get a prescription and so forth, do y'all come back with an email and send them, you know what, this is where your claim is at?
We can definitely do that. Got to be real careful with that based off of HIPAA.
The reason I'm saying, because I know I get it through where I work at, and they send me an email at work to tell me where my claim's at. And
Yes, sir.
whatever, to make sure that it's me, the person that.
That'd be up to the individual carrier themselves.
Any other questions? If not, thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
gentlemen, very much.
Appreciate it.
Good evening, Mayor Garza, Mayor Pro Tem, City Commissioners, and I'd like to begin by thanking you for the opportunity to come in and introduce myself and my company. I am Ivan Ortegon, owner and founder of Ortegon Insurance Agency. My firm is Texas Certified Minority and Woman-Owned Business. I have a bachelor's degree in Finance Risk Management from St. Mary's University. I've also earned my master's in Business Administration. I've been licensed as a general line insurance agent in the state of Texas since 1996, and I have over 20 years' experience in the insurance, employee benefits, and human resources fields. What makes my services as an agent unique is that I have the extensive experience on the employer side as well. I've been an employee benefits director, an HR director, and an administrator. With this experience, I'm able to assist my clients to ensure they're in compliance with all state and federal laws relating to insurance and provide guidance with HR issues. I work with your administration to streamline processes, make sure bills are reconciled, and assist in handling all the insurance needs. My agency focuses on exceptional customer service. We have a dedicated agent for each of our clients. Our agents make sure that your employees clearly understand their insurance benefits and how it plays a role as part of their total compensation package. Employees who have a greater understanding of their benefit program will value it more and will more likely stay with their employer. My agents will also assist employees with their claims and all enrollments. We understand that the city of FAR faces unique challenges. Your organization is exempt from certain laws and governed by others that may allow for flexibility and cost efficiency. We take these factors into consideration and bring a broad range of sector-focused solutions and expertise, such as collective purchasing, benchmarking data, and healthcare utilization review and analysis. My agency will strengthen the City of San Juan with guidance throughout the bargaining process and recommendations on best practices moving forward, communication with employees so that they understand the value of their benefit package, deep understanding of compliance and legal issues, including but not limited to healthcare reform, HIPAA, and labor laws, collaborative communication with key stakeholders to build consensus and solve issues. Proper vendor management begins with the selection of the right partner for the City of San Juan's Employee Benefits Program. My agency interacts with insurance carriers to truly understand their capabilities and offerings. You can be confident that we only recommend those companies whose insurance products and services combine the broadest and best range of options for a fair value. We have the experience, the relationships, and the independence your organization needs to get the most effective combination of rates, policy terms, plan designs at an affordable cost. To ensure that the best interests of the City of San Juan are represented in all interactions with insurance carriers, my agency will handle all ongoing services in addition to negotiations. We will coordinate all open enrollment activities and support and maintain all your communication needs. We have our own enrollment system that will have all your benefit and information needs in one easy, accessible system. We are eager to serve the City of San Juan's administration and staff, and I'd like to thank you for your consideration and your time this evening. Any questions?
Go ahead, sir, go ahead.
Do you all provide a portal, like a portal for employees? Like if they want to get information on their insurance policies, or actually if they go to the doctor and so forth, do you all get feedback to the employee?
That is done through the insurance companies. Yeah, the actual carriers. Each of them have their like My Cigna, My UHC. They go in there, they can actually download their mobile device and they can actually access their insurance cards and their claim information, everything from their device. So what we do is we educate them with the different carriers, provide them with the information so they can utilize all those options that the insurance carriers provide so they can have all their information at the click of their phone.
Now, my question to you, ma'am, is, for instance, we have a lot of, older employees who like to speak with someone in person. As far as how would you guys handle that? You know, would you send someone over here like maybe every 2 weeks in case, you know, someone has any questions regarding your insurance or any issues with it, or how does that work?
Well, we would work with your city manager depending on what you prefer. So we could provide a dedicated agent once a week on a specific day to be here from 8 to 5, so that all your employees know that on this day that they will be there. And if they have like an urgent issue, like say, for example, they have a catastrophic illness like cancer, we can also make arrangements to go and meet them somewhere or go to their office or do that for them and help them like hand in hand process their claims. Or what we do now, because a lot of the like disability carriers, they do, you call online, you call an 800 number to file a claim. So we'll even do a 3-way call while an employee is out of work, and we'll assist them step by step and tell them what they're gonna ask, what information they need, and then we follow up with additional information that we mail it to them so that they are well informed, and we advise them that we're always there to handle those situations. That's what we currently do for our clients.
I think that's really important. I think extremely important. A lot of people get discouraged or what have you. Having that other person on the other line assisting, is, like you said, we don't know the process.
Yes, sir.
The confusion and stuff like that, so.
And again, being on the employer side, I mean, my job was to take care of the employees so they could do their job. And that's the same philosophy that I have as an insurance agent. We go above and beyond what most people may do as an agent, because that's what we believe in.
You have done, obviously, the resume, but worked on that administrative part of it.
Yes, sir. I've been in school districts and worked for nonprofits.
So, both sides.
Yes, sir. And I've been licensed for over 20 years, but an active on the insurance agent part for 15 years.
Any other questions? If not, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Well, I guess our 5 minutes will begin. Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, thank you for the opportunity to be before you this evening. I guess we'll call it an evening. Very hot one at that. Again, thank you for the opportunity to present before you. My name is Dion Chavez. I am the sales manager of Salazar Insurance Group. Joe Salazar is the owner and principal owner of the company. Salazar Insurance Group is a strategic benefits company that is located in the Rio Grande Valley. We have been working in and with insurance benefits for over 20 years. We specialize in the management, administration, coordination, and communication of health, dental, vision, and voluntary benefits. We currently have offices in Brownsville, Harlingen, McAllen, and Rio Grande City. Our staff is comprised of 20 salaried employees who manage the day-to-day services of our clients' needs. Furthermore, we have well over 50 local and licensed insurance representatives who serve our agency in the business matters of our numerous accounts across the Rio Grande Valley. With respect to our current groups, they include a number of public sector and private sector accounts, such as Brownsville Independent School District, as well as the City of Brownsville, McAllen ISD, as well as the City of McAllen, Rio Grande City as well as Rio Grande City CISD, Weslaco ISD, and the city of Weslaco. And some of the other accounts would be inclusive of City of Donna and Tropical Texas Behavioral Health. Again, that's to name a few. With regard to insurance carriers, we do work with and have appointments with companies such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, Humana, United Healthcare, and Assured Benefits. We also work with Allstate, Aflac, MetLife, Sun Life, Colonial, Hartford, Lincoln, Unum, Emeritus, Davis, and Delta Dental, to name a few. Lastly, we are, or rather I should say, we have in-house, I like to say very good, but I'm actually going to say the word great. I don't think that would, not be the case. This IT person we have is a specialist who builds and manages enrollment platforms. The systems can actually be tailored to the specific needs that an account or a group needs for admin purposes. What we have placed with you are actual outlines that basically describe what the programs do. Now, generally speaking, there is cost associated with this. However, we are actually passing this on to the city as a value-added service. It is part of what we bring to the table when we do provide services for one of our accounts. Now, the system itself is called Employee Navigator, and it's an end-to-end benefits administration software system. And basically what it does is the platform centralizes your HR records online and syncs your employee data across multiple lines through something called EDI feeds. So what it is designed to do, it's basically autonomous in its nature. I don't want to say it's artificial intelligence, but it's smart. And so there's no one there who's manually actually, uploading the data because it's set to update itself. It's basically a streamlined employee management system. So it works for benefits administration, HR management, new hire onboarding, PTO tracking, asset tracking, as well as payroll integrations and integrated COBRA. Again, this is generally, as a cost, about $40,000 per year, but this is something that, again, we would provide as a value add. And for time's sake, I will just mention that in terms of one of the other things that we do is we help with basically cost containment and cost management when it comes to your benefits. And the way we're able to do that is because we have such a large book of business, a lot of the carriers that we work with, we're able to leverage against them, and we're basically able to get the best quote for you. And so what we do most of the time is we'll go ahead and get those bids for you, and then we'll spreadsheet them. And then, if you have a consultant, that consultant can basically weigh which are the better companies, or we can rank them. And in the end, again, the idea is to bring you better service if it isn't in place, better cost savings if it isn't in place, and better customer service if it isn't in place. So again, we've been doing this for, again, well over 20 years. And with that being said, I'm not going to say we're second to none, but we're right up there at the top with probably some of the folks you've talked to this evening or who are presenting. They are good brokers as well, but with that being said, I think we rank right up there with them, if not maybe just a notch above, just for what it's worth. I'm proud of what we do and how we do it. With that, I'll ask if there's any questions, anything specific maybe that you'd like to know, any particular issues that are currently happening that maybe I could possibly propose a solution just right off the cuff from my own personal experience, because again, this is what we do and we're good at it.
Questions? Okay. This employee navigator, is this done by your company or the medical insurance companies?
It's actually done by our company, and the way we do it is we have a license with Employee Navigator, and we have an in-house IT specialist who actually has the ability to do the build-out. Now, a lot of times, for example, you can have somebody up here, such as myself, And what they'll do is they'll outsource that, and they'll have somebody else do the build. And so if there's any issues, they have to call an 800 number. In this case, you have somebody local, and that would be here in the valley, and that's why we're able to remedy most of the problems within the space of, less than an hour or less than 30 minutes. It's just a matter of communicating what the issue is. That's very unique. I don't think there's anyone here in the valley quite like that. And a lot of times when we partner with other brokers, that's why they'll partner with us, because they know that we have that, that niche, if you will. Yeah.
Any other questions? That was the only question. No? You're good, cool. All right. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening, and hope to hear from you all.
All right, thank you, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. My name is Corina Gonzalez. I'm here with Bob Trevino Insurance. I am the senior agent for our agency. I've been with the agency for 15 years, and I have been licensed for 17 years. I do specialize in the insurance for the employee benefits. We do a lot of the schools and cities. A little bit of our agency is we've been in business for 34 years. We are local. We are about 1 mile from the city hall. We do have 7 licensed agents in staff. We also have customer service reps. And we also have our customer service that help with claims. So we do have the employees that are insured here with the city, often go by the office for wellness claims, a lot of the benefits that we do provide for the city. As you know, we do the medical and we do all the supplemental products. A lot of our benefits have a reimbursement, so they're always coming to our office to get some of their money back from their benefits. So we do have our in-house there at our office. I know most of our agents, sometimes for other enrollments, were not there, but we will always have staff there available that can help with any questions or concerns. Our staff is HIPAA compliant. We do assist, and we work closely with Mr. Jaime with the human resource, and we do help with like the billing concerns, open enrollment, the insurance. We do help with the renewals. We try to get the best bids for the city. I know we did have a rate increase last year. We reduced it, and I believe we have another one coming up. I'm sure they played with the numbers, but I'm not really sure about those. I have somebody else that takes care of that. But we are here locally. We're here to help with, like I said, anything. I do appreciate, and we appreciate your business. We've been with the city for 2 years. And I do want to also say that before we used to have this account, we used to always help and assist with health fairs. I know we haven't had one. I'm not sure what happened last year, but it would be really great if we could provide that for the employees. But so far, I mean, this is all I have to represent. I know that we provided these little booklets. We do open enrollment. We do everything online. We don't do paper applications. Everything is HIPAA compliant. We have our own software that we use and utilize for open enrollment. And we provide everything and reports that are needed to the insurance companies and to the city. I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Because this insurance is the one that gives, when you go take different tests, do they?
Yes, a cancer policy or accident policy, all of them have a wellness reimbursement. So it gives money back to the employee, which I think is really neat. So even if the insurance covers the, let's say, your lab and an X-ray, no, I'm sorry, your wellness, like your blood work, your triglycerides, our plans will have a reimbursement so the employee can get money back. And if they have their dependents, it's also per dependent. And I know insurance is expensive, so this is a really neat benefit that we give back to the employees. And those are available in our supplemental products.
How many providers do y'all work with?
Providers like insurance carriers, we're actually appointed with many. I mean, for medical, we do Blue Cross Humana, United Healthcare. We have Aetna. I mean, we do Allstate, Colonial, Aflac. We do everything. I mean, so that's how we can play with numbers and benefits and for the city.
So you mentioned about a rate increase. Do you know that percentage on that
I
increase?
do not.
You know, Mr. Arjona? Or Ms.
Mr.
Cordero?
Jaime, or?
Was
No,
it
we brought it down.
26%?
Yeah, we always ask them, like, they're not gonna take it, and we ask them to reduce it. We threaten to go out for bid, and then we see. If they don't, we will look for other rates and then provide and put, we do a kind of like a grid of all the carriers and what they're providing, and
26%? Was that?
what was the
Was
final
that,
one?
was that 26 you said, mentioned?
It was 20?
I thought it was 18.
I know it's been reduced. I'm not sure what the last number was on that.
Heard about 26, 24, and then.
Yeah,
they
we
had
don't
the-
have, and I was going through my paperwork, I don't have that concrete number here.
Well, no, because this was more of the agent of record, so I don't have numbers of the
Oh, okay.
medical, yeah.
There you go. Okay.
But on those, like I said, we will work with the carrier, and they do look at claims versus premium. If there was large claims, they have to increase premium.
Any other questions for her? You're good? You're good? All right, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, we heard what the four different insurance companies proposing as far as what they can offer our employees. As you guys know, that we got to look at what's for the best interest of our employees. So is there any comments, any suggestions, anything you guys want to make? Like I mentioned, we heard them all four. And I guess at this time, we got to just go ahead and take it up for a vote and decide.
Sound good there.
Huh?
They all sound good. I don't think
Yeah.
the increases would kind of.
Yeah, that's the only thing that got me. So, any comments or anything right now?
If I may, Mayor?
Go ahead, sir.
My question for Ms. Cordero and Mr. Jaime, and I guess Mr. Arjona. How do you feel with the current company that we have?
I think that at any point that we have an increase in rates, and like last year we had a 24, 26% increase that was proposed, and having to come back to me saying I need a better rate, and then at the end giving us a good rate, or maybe instead of the 26 to 3% or 4% increase, and then again this year giving us a 24 to 26% increase, having to talk to the company and say I need a better rate because this is, it's outrageous as far as the rate goes. So I think that at first, as an agent of record, you should do the best that you can for the city that you're representing to say this is the rate that maybe I can offer. And if it's something that is not within our range, maybe we can talk to them. But that astronomical range that it was at 24, 26, I think it's a little bit too high. And then having to come back low to 3%, that, it's a little bit, for me, it's a little bit satisfying. And then the service that, just like anything else, I mean, the service, you go to the doctor, pretty much everybody provided or stated that there's a portal. That's something that we haven't seen. Another one, it's we've asked.
Hold on. You mentioned that you hadn't seen a portal?
A portal.
You haven't seen a portal? Okay. Okay. That's it.
We don't have any access to that or and then tell them, okay.
So our employees have to go to their office? Okay, good, okay.
of the things, Mayor Commissioners, that we're gonna start this fiscal year, coming fiscal year, is that we have our orientation for employees. Now, like I've been talking to Mr. Jaime and Ms. Cordero, is that we're not the experts in insurances. So what we're gonna do is, starting this fiscal year with your all permission approval, is that we're gonna do like a mini orientation type of thing. That we, yes, we will bring in the employees, do an orientation, but it's a minimal. But later, maybe every other week, get these people to come in and actually fully explain to our employees what is it, what type of benefits the city actually provides. Because we're not the expert to say this is the best insurance policy for you. But one of the things that we're looking at is whoever the agent of record is have them come over every other week or maybe once a month, depending on the turnover or depending on the new employees, to come over and actually explain to the employees to see what actually is available. Now, if there's a refresher that we may need, like what is it that I have, what are the benefits, they'll be there for there as well. But that'll be starting at the new fiscal.
Not
This is
only
one of
that,
the changes that we're working on.
I also think that you also incorporate some kind of health fair.
Yes, and that's another one that we're looking
And
at.
I know some of these did talk about this, not too many, you know.
Practice, Mayor, if you don't mind, Mayor, I would believe that would be part of the orientation of every employee before they even start beginning to work or they work, to go to the provider at all costs. We shouldn't wait a week or two or a month to go through that orientation. I think that should be part of the orientation. Of course, that's what I believe. That's what I've experienced in the past. And employees shouldn't wait for that week or 2 weeks or a month to wait for a group to go. And we should have provided that service automatically with the orientation part, if that would be an idea for us to start practicing, I would believe. Another question I was gonna ask you, thank you for Mr. Ramirez. What has been a response for our employees with our current courier? Have we gotten a survey?
Have any type of opinion?
Insurance has been responsive. We've been able to get them in touch with the employees in touch with them, and they've been able to resolve issues that come up, the questions that they have with the claims, and assistance in submitting claims. So they've done that.
That our logistics part, or is it the courier? Or is it our problem, or is it the courier? Right.
Everything because they think that, they want coverage, but then they sign off electronically and then they say, well, I didn't sign up for this, or later on they find out that.
So now they
That's
take a big portion off their
majority
paycheck,
of the
correct?
things, yes,
Wow,
yes.
okay.
And at that open enrollment, the employees provided with the
Okay.
Can I make a motion, Mayor, if I may? I think with everything that we've heard today, and I know that, like the Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, they all seem very capable of doing it. I'm gonna make a motion to appoint Salazar Insurance Group as the agent of record.
That's in a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been seconded by Neto Guajardo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Aye. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion for, and just kind of reiterate what you said, Commissioner Ramirez, they were all good. Obviously, we just gotta go with one. So my motion is I'm gonna go ahead and go with Ortegon Insurance Agency, LLC, Wesco, Texas. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by, by Mr. Ramirez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. I guess go ahead and let them know, I guess. Oh, okay. Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to, working with employees, and please, I ask that, you get them the best service that they can possibly get, because they deserve it.
I think that administrative part has a lot to do with it. You understand both sides. That had a lot to do with my decision. I mean, we just need to make sure our employees are knowledgeable, educated, and stuff, and now that they have somebody to do it with them, that plays a big part, so.
And also, just my last comment to you, ma'am, is that if you can maybe work out something with our city manager to where you can have a representative here, maybe not once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, in case anybody, has any concerns or any issues regarding any type of policies that they get, okay? And you know what, and honestly, I don't think it necessarily, if you guys want, you're welcome to be here 8 to 5, but you can be here, 8 to 12 or 1 to 5, whatever you guys decide. Yeah, so that's the only thing I ask is just, we got to take care of our employees. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and move on.
The next item is consider authorizing city manager to declare 9 city vehicles and 20 gambling machines awarded to the San Juan Police Department on February 5th, 2019, in case 1402253 by San Juan Municipal Court Judge Eloy Hernandez as salvage and surplus property. Or you want to keep them? It's up to you.
Set them up.
Set them up, you can get a trailer and set them up. Hey, donations for
Mayor and Commissioners, staff has identified,
Go ahead, sir, go ahead.
I'm sorry, 9 vehicles that they feel should be declared as salvage, that are no longer of use or for the original intent. And also, the police department was awarded 20 gambling machines by our local municipal court. They would also like to put those up as salvage to be auctioned off. Sir? The gambling machines?
So I'm saying, just,
There's pictures in they look antiquated. I'm not sure what the value is of those. But staff's recommendation is to authorize the city manager to sell the before-mentioned property in auction and/or dispose of items not sold in auction in the best interest of the city of San Juan.
Recommended by staff.
Second. There's been a motion been made by Mr. Ramirez, a second by myself. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We go to the next item, is going to be item letter D. Discussion and consideration proposed tax rate for the city of San Juan for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2019, through September 30th, 2020, and setting public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, Commissioners. In accordance with the property tax law, if the property tax rate of 0.6993 will exceed the effective tax rate of 0.6721 or a rollback tax rate of 0.7366, a record vote must be taken and also schedule 2 public hearings. The 2 public hearings will be scheduled on Tuesday, August 27th, 2019 at 6 p.m. for the first hearing, and the second hearing on Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 at 6 p.m. The public hearings will be placed at the City of San Juan Memorial Library multipurpose room located at 1010 South Standards. And I've also included the sheet that I received from the tax office on the property proposed tax rate of 0.693, additional revenues of 272,714. Maybe have any questions?
you are proposing a tax increase?
No,
No.
it's the same.
Hey,
Oh,
keep it the same.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
So if we were to keep it the same, are we still, I don't know if this question is good for you or Mr. Arjona, as far as you know how we had mentioned during our workshop, the 241?
Keep it the same?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that'll give us a little bit more revenue so that we can reach that goal.
Gotcha.
So we're working on it, so if we leave it like this, that'll give us a better chance to reach out to that.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? That was the question I had.
Just for clarification, Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
If we keep it the same 69 cents, then it is a tax increase, isn't it? Because
No, sir. The
the
reason,
effective rate is 67.
well, that's the effective tax rate.
To-
If we want to
to
get the same
maintain.
revenue we got
Right.
this year,
So we're gonna increase revenue.
we're going to increase revenue but have the same tax rate.
Tax rate will remain the same, but because of the rooftops additional at Valorem, that's why we increased.
No tax increase.
Right.
No tax increase.
But we still have to have the hearing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we still, we have to have the public hearings because the effective tax rate came back lower than the point. Yes, came out lower.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
The next item, consider selecting bidder and awarding the bid 190800806, rental of mobile trailer mounted 2-meter belt filter, press, and ancillary equipment. Mr. Salinas.
Good afternoon, Mayor Commissioners. Back in July 24th and the 31st, we went out for bid for the rental of a mobile bell press to help dewater the sludge at the wastewater plant. Since we're basically going under design for the rehab of the plant, we need to be able to move more solids out of the plant that we can't right now with the traditional equipment. In order for the engineer to be able to go and survey the interior equipment that's underwater at the plant, the only way I can do that is if I bring the solids down. So we did get 2 bids from Aspen Rentals out of Angleton, Texas, and from Press Rentals from Evans, Georgia. We are recommending that we go with Aspen Rental. It is about $230 more than our budgeted amount for this amount, but the other one is a lot more expensive. And Angleton, Texas is closer, so they'll be able to mobilize a whole lot quicker. And that's really why the cost is lower. Because the other company was 16,000 plus in mobilization cost. Aspen Rental is only 5,900, so I'm recommending that we go with Aspen. Yes, sir.
Questions for Mr. Salinas? If not, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the contractual resolutions, consider authorizing the chief of police to enter into a renewal agreement between the United States Department of Justice, Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Juan Police Department. Captain?
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. This is the annual renewal for our officer assigned to the DEA HIDTA Task Force. The agreement is usually a one-year agreement. Although the city pays for the salary of the officer to be at the task force, the task force itself pays the officers overtime. And this year's agreement will be $18,649 worth of overtime being reimbursed to the city for that officer to be over there.
Is that not to exceed the 18,000, or is that going to be?
Not exceed.
Not to exceed, yes.
There's a formula that is used on the officer's safety, net on the federal system, so. Correct?
Yes. No, it's correct.
I make a motion to approve.
Second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is on the consent agenda. This meeting, we have one item, which is the meeting minutes for March 12, 2019.
With that being said, is there anything we need to modify or amend? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item under executive session. I'm sorry? The San Juan City Commission will convene executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Burners, Texas Station Codes, and the Annotated Government Code, Chapter 551, Item one is pursuant to section 551.087, economic development negotiations. We have deliberation regarding financial incentives to business prospects, Project Square, and 551.071, consultation with attorney. Number two, pursuant to section 5.1074, personal matters, discuss the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, Municipal Judge Joe Ramirez.
With that being said,
Mayor, if I may?
go ahead, sir.
Question for legal. On item number two, if the individual is not employed by the city under this personnel matters, do you still go into executive?
It's a discussion about the position. If there's gonna be an appointment, it doesn't have to be an executive session, it could be an open session item, there's no discipline here. I would venture to say at this juncture, if the issue, it's not employment evaluation or reassignment, because he's not with the city. So, given the fact that it's an appointment, and it's only for the appointment, that it would be an open, it should be an open session item. I don't think there's any deliberations unless there's a series of employees that we're considering or prospects for either directors or whatnot, but it seems here it's been, I think he was was that only one applicant? So given the fact that we only have one applicant and we're not discussing their resumes and so forth and whatnot, it could remain as an open session item.
And I guess my next question would be for Mr. Arjona. When did we agree to advertise for this?
That's a position that was brought to me by the mayor.
Correct.
He asked me to advertise it.
Correct.
For a volunteer nominal pay,
Correct.
and that's the way that we advertised it.
So now that we're under that issue right now, so we could go ahead and talk about it, Rick, Mr. Palacios, in reference going on open session?
Yeah, we can, again, like I said, the way I looked at it right now is, if we're not discussing a laundry list of applicants and their qualifications or whatever, and he's not an employee at this juncture, it should be an open session item.
So at this time, I did inform Mr. Arjona in reference to this matter, just for the simple reason that we do have two municipal judges. They both have their own legal law firms. They sometimes have family matters, and there's other issues that arise with them. So by having this third judge, it's kind of just to help the other two individuals. Now, according to our city charter, we have to compensate this judge no matter what. And so the agreement was, according to Mr. Ramirez, is that he's willing to become a municipal judge for $1 a month. But then in return, he informed Mr. Arjona that he'll go ahead and donate that $1 back to the city. So technically, we will have a judge who would be working on a volunteer base at no cost at the taxpayers whatsoever. Am I correct? Yes.
And when did you advertise, Mr. Arjona?
2.5 weeks ago,
And it was posted for how long?
about 2.5 weeks,
So it just closed,
closed on Friday.
last Friday, this past Friday.
So I just want to make this clear for the record that this additional attorney, who's a licensed lawyer, would be on a volunteer base at no cost to our tax dollar, to our our citizens.
From a contract?
I would recommend, the city charter, basically what it says on the city charter, it says, an affirmative vote of majority by the city commission shall be required to appoint, comma, fixed compensation. So when I see shall be required to appoint, and then the second option is fixed compensation, one could argue that the municipal judge should have been compensated. So the $1 contract per month would cover us by compensating him. What he chooses to do with that $1, if he chooses to donate it back to the city, that's up to them, but I think that would be enough to at least justify, compensation, so it would be in the form of a contract, that's correct. And it would have to be written out that way.
No benefits. Correct.
No, unless this council is deciding what benefit, but if there's no benefit, then, they're not looked at as, they're not employees, there'd be, in this situation, it'd be looked at as a contract employee for $1 a month is basically what I'm hearing. If that's the majority vote of this commission, that would have to be in the form of a motion.
Sir, Juan, what did he inform you as far as the $1 a month? He's willing to give it back?
Yes. He was willing to give it back to the city.
So, okay. So then basically going back to what I just mentioned, it'd be at no cost to our taxpayers. Am I correct? Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to make the motion to approve Mr. Joe Ramirez as a municipal judge.
There's a motion. I'll go ahead and second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I understand that, the way it's, listed here is you're appointing him as judge, but if we can have a second motion, if you so decide to do the compensation, it would have to be done by majority also. So we can have a secondary motion to regarding the compensation provision.
Of what you just stated right now, yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the $1.
To pay him $1
Yes,
a month,
sir.
is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, at this time, is there a motion to go in executive session under A1?
Second.
Has there been second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will be going in executive session at 7:49 PM. From executive session at 8:11 PM. Is there a motion to reconvene?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, under executive session, under 1, we're taking no action at this time. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned at 8:12 PM. Thank you.